Why do you want to be a police officer? This is the question that seems to be throwing so many of you. I mean, I've just spent an hour running a webinar for our clients. These are members of our academy program who are preparing for their final interview, where we've had to throw all of the rest of the agenda out the window because all we focused on was the big why question, like, why do you want to be a police officer? What's the reason you want to be a police officer? Why do you want to join this force? These are really common questions at the start of your final interview, or there's one force out there that's asking this question at the end of your interview. And if you don't get this right, it can throw the rest of your interview. I mean, one of our clients tonight, I'm going to call him Mark. It's not his real name, but he talked about how he went for his interview last year. He completely threw it because the first question was this one, and he just blabbed on about, his words, blabbed on about, I just want to help others. I'm just reading, this is what he actually said. I want to put something back. My values align with the values of the police service. There's no 2 days that are the same. I mean, seriously, it's just like cliche after cliche. And I know there's people out there who suggest that you say these things. And I know that there's videos out there that say, and this is a really good answer. This is a solid answer that's going to score really highly. No, it won't. I mean, Mark told me about how he just sat there thinking, I've just failed the interview. The assessors were looking at him as if to say, and where's the rest? And he agreed with me. He just sounded like everyone else. So we need to have a unique story, and it needs to be your story. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you construct that. But first, why should you listen to me? Why should you care about anything that I've got to say? My name's Brendan from Blue Light, and over the past 31 years now, I've been supporting people just like you to succeed in the police recruitment process, in specialist interviews and police promotion process. I've got an amazing track record. Just check the Trustpilot reviews below. Don't just take my word for it. Over 750 5-star reviews. There's a link in the blurb below. And I've got an amazing team of coaches around me now who are supporting people just like you to succeed through our academy program, which is one-to-one coaching, small group practice webinars, over 4 years worth of, it's over 5 years worth now, over 5 years worth of weekly webinars that are recorded, a ton of online material, templates, guidance, over 42 different systems, structures and methods of dealing with things. Don't worry, you don't have to learn them all. It depends where you are in the process and what route you're going through. Everything you need to pass, and we actually guarantee that pass. So if you don't pass, we keep working with you. If you don't pass a second time, we just give you all your money back. And I'm not even going to say no questions asked, because sometimes I do ask questions like, so what do you think happened and why do you think you failed? And so I'm not even going to say no questions asked because I'm sometimes inquisitive, but we just give you a full refund. It's like, oh, here's all your money back. Why can we offer that bold guarantee? Well, 95% plus of our clients pass. Nationally, only 1 in 10 succeed. In our academy, 9+ out of 10 succeed. So we just turn things around. And it's because we do stuff like this. So I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into the sort of things that we covered in that 1 hour webinar. So the first thing we need to have is a beginning to our story. This point here, this is our timeline. This is like the thing that inspired us to want to apply to join the police. And that is the point where you're actually at the interview. So a lot of things take place on this timeline, okay? A lot of things take place on this timeline. But the first thing we had to focus on was, what was the inspiration? What was the thing that happened, or the thing you witnessed, or the thing you were involved in, or the thing you observed, or what was the thing that inspired you? Because you didn't just wake up one morning. I guarantee you this. You didn't just wake up one morning and think, I'm a bit bored of being an accountant. I know I'll become a police officer. That's just not the way it works. I mean, I promise you it's not the way it works. And you certainly didn't wake up thinking, I'm going to be a police officer because I want to help others. No 2 days are the same. I want to put something back. My values align with the values of the police service. And boring. No one's interested. No one's interested because it's just like cliched nonsense. You need to have your own unique story. So at the very beginning here, we look at hook. And you might be thinking, what do you mean by a hook? I'll give you an example from years ago. I'm going to call this client Simon. Let's call him Simon. And this isn't the days when I used to do like small group webinars, not webinars, seminars. I'd turn up to a location and it'd be like a group of 20 people in a room and we'd run this 1 day long seminar. They were awesome. I loved doing them. But now we're in the world of Zoom. Yeah, no one's going to turn up for those. Unless you feel as though you need those things, drop me a line if you put something in the comments if you think, yeah, I could do with introducing those again, because I'd love to run them again. Anyway, this guy, Simon, he delivered the same old blah, 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 boring, boring, boring. And so I just stopped him and just said, they're not going to be interested. They are just going to blank you out and fail you. And it meant so much to him joining the police. I could tell. So what we do here is I just like, right, okay, at this very beginning part here, I'd like you to imagine that we're going out for a drink, that we're all friends, we've not seen each other for a while, and we're going for a drink, a latte or a pint of Yorkshire's Best or whatever, because we live in Yorkshire. And I'm going to say, so what's going on? And you're going to say, I'm thinking about joining. Actually, not just thinking about joining the police, I have applied to be a police officer. And I'd be like, wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. Well, just out of interest, what led to that decision? And you're going to authentically tell me what happened. And then, so I did this exercise with Simon and he said, do you know, I'm not sure if I'd say this, but it's actually down to my uncle. Like my dad, absolutely love him. My dad's still alive. He's retired now. Love him to bits. He's amazing, amazing individual. He's a role model. But my other role model in life was my uncle, like my father's brother, my uncle. And he was a police officer in this constabulary. And he's passed away now, sadly. You know, he retired and he got cancer. Like 5 years in, he got cancer. 5 years into his retirement, got cancer and passed away, sadly. And that I was devastated. And the reason being was because, you know, he would tell me these stories about what he'd done, how he'd helped the community be a better place, how he'd locked up this bad guy, how he'd found this missing from home, how he worked on this domestic violence case and managed to protect the woman and the family. And all of these stories he used to talk to me about. And I'd just listen and I'd be like amazed. And I'd be thinking, one day I want to be like you. And so I set my stall out right from an early age, just thinking I want to be like my uncle. And so I did something here. And then I developed that further and did something else. And these things become the chapters in our story. And he told the rest of his story. But all the time he kept looping back to his hook. So this is the story here. And then he would loop back to his hook, right? So the hook's really important. And you might be thinking, I've not got a hook like that. Everyone's got a hook. Everyone. I promise you this. I mean, I've worked with thousands of people just like you over 31 years. I've been in the police sector for 40 years now. I joined the police 40 years ago. I've done this so many times with people. Everyone's got a unique hook. And it might not be as a hook like this one, because he kept going back to, and this was similar to, and this made me think about going back to his uncle all the time. So he's going back to his hook all the time. Very, very powerful story. It's not scripted or anything. This is just like how he would talk to me in a pub over a beer. And I'd ask him further questions to clarify things, and he'd go deeper into things. And it was really moving, actually, because, you know, I could really feel the emotional connection with him and his uncle. I could really feel the authenticity in his story. I could really feel the structure, but I was helping out a lot by asking questions about each one of these stages. And there were several stages. The whole answer was about 4 minutes long, which is about right. Now, he went on to deliver this answer, because the first question he got asked, surprise, surprise, was, why do you want to be a police officer? And he told the story of his uncle. And at the end of the interview, the interviewer, I swear, this is what happened, said to Simon, so he rang me up after it and said, what does this mean? He said to him, look, thank you for that interview. Thank you for your answers. Next phone call I'm going to make is to HR, because I'm going to see if we can dig out your uncle's collar number for when you join, so you can wear your uncle's collar number. Now, in a day or two, you'll get an email that tells you whether you passed or failed. But that was a really good interview. I really enjoyed talking to you, and best of luck in the process. And he rang me up. He was like, What does that mean? I'm like, mate, you've passed. You've so passed. You've passed and you've got an amazing score. He was like, no, I haven't. He said, I'll find out in a day or two. It's like, mate, he said, the next phone call I'm going to make is to HR to ensure, see what we can do to get you the collar number. And he got back in touch with me. He did pass. You know, he got the email and he rang me up again and say, hey, guess what? I've passed. I'm like, of course you passed. I knew you'd passed. He told you you'd passed. He said, he didn't tell me I'd passed. He said he was going to make that phone call and get the collar number of your uncle. You've passed. Anyway, he didn't want to believe it, even though it was staring him in the face. And that's what we look for in our clients. We look for the interviewer being so moved that they can't help but indicate that this person's passed. So we often get things like, when you're asked to choose which division you want to join, it'd be amazing if you came to join the division I'm on, and who knows, you might even end up on my team. That would be amazing. But we'll let you know in a day or two whether you've passed or failed. Effectively saying you've passed, but we're going to put you out of your misery. It doesn't happen with everyone, but it happens with a lot of our clients, and that's what we're aiming for the interview to be so good, for them to be on the edge of their seats, for them to be thinking, I'd be an idiot if I failed this person. And for one of our clients, John, just recently, he had the pen drop moment. The interview was meant to be 45 minutes long. An hour and a half later, it finished. After 45 minutes, they actually put their pens down and they just got stuck into a conversation. He loved the interview. It turned into a conversation, and that's what we're looking for. Not every force will do that, but in this force they did. So does that make sense? Is this resonating with you? Let me know in the comments below if this is resonating with you, if you're thinking, yes, I want to have that compelling story. Because once you've got that compelling story, and every one of your stories is compelling, I promise you this, that deep inside, we can dig out the inspiration, the motivation, we can dig out that hook, we can help you with your story, and at the very end of it, there needs to be a close to your story. So that we've got this hook, story, close. We've got this structured process with chapters to your story. You're telling a story about you. It's so unique that no one else has got this story. We're not going to blab on about what other people say is a really awesome answer, because I'm sorry, it's not. I've been the interviewer. The rest of our coaching team have been the interviewers, and I've helped thousands of people like you. And unlike some people who are out there purporting to give you advice, I've actually been in the police. I've actually done the interviews in the police. I don't just like pretend I know what I'm talking about because I've Googled stuff. Anyway, you make up your own mind. But if you're going to be looking for advice about how to become a police officer, then you're in the right place here, not in the other place. I think you know what I mean. All right. Awesome. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. I wanted to share this with you because this is something that was really challenging for our clients. Like, we had 7 people on the webinar, and it was really challenging. Everyone was trying to come up with their unique story, and it's much harder than you may think it is, especially building up this story all the way to the close at the very end of it. But Mark, our individual who I was supporting, they've now got an awesome start to their answer. They're going to do amazingly. They're going to set themselves up for the rest of their interview because they're going to deliver this confidently, and that's what it's all about. It's not just about delivering the right structure, it's delivering it confidently so you feel good about your interview, and that will come across. I promise you that will come across. If you want to be that person, then the person who's in that top echelon of people who are passing so you can secure that seat in that highly competitive process, then check the link below, fill out the form, join us on a discovery call. It's about 45 minutes to an hour long, where we'll look at where you are now, where you want to be, what you're struggling with, and whether we can truly help you in our Academy program. If we can't, we'll tell you why, and we'll point you in the right direction. If we can, then welcome on board. We will guarantee your pass for you. We will work hard. We will show you the way. You're going to work hard. You're going to work even harder. Don't think that this happens by some kind of magic wand or osmosis. It's not what it's about. You've got to do the hard work, but we'll show you the way. Anyway, check out our Trustpilot reviews below. So proud of them. Thank you to everyone who's given us Trustpilot reviews. Just think about what yours is going to sound like when you pass in 6 months' time, 8 months' time, a year's time, whenever it might be. Look forward to seeing you in our Academy, in our special webinars that I love to run once a week, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.